I love that song. Yeah. Hi, Malar. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, Singapore. Good morning, Singapore.
Yeah, and good morning, Malaysia. So we're taking turns and doing it in the other way around. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I need another Malaysian quickly coming in. Come on, let's bring Celine on.
yeah, sure. Where's Celine?
Celine. Yes.
Celine. Okay, there's Celine.
Hello,
Yoo-hoo. Okay.
hello,
Uh,
Singapore.
you need
From Malaysia.
you need two Malaysians to work with Singapore, is it?
Yeah,
To balance
Oh,
the
what
scale.
a way
Oh.
to start it, man. Don't you forget your roots, Charm.
No,
oh,
never forget.
Never forget your roots.
Okay, yeah. Which is why
Yeah.
I'm coming back. Anyway, um, hi Gerald. Good morning. Welcome. Okay, so I get to do the introduction of this wonderful guest that we have today with us, and I'm going to dive right into it because we have 45 minutes, right, Muller? And I want to make sure that we get as much as we can from Celine in this 45 minutes.
I was
So
going to say that's so Singaporean, but moving on.
that's so driven, like number two, no, daughter number two. Okay, so here's the thing about Celine, right? So I was thinking of how to introduce her. Then I contrasted the two experiences that I had with Celine. So one is our chat, our meeting, our virtual meeting, and the other was looking at her profile, and it can throw you off, you know. So how you see Selena, it really depends on your first interaction with her. So if you first saw her through her profile, it would be like, oh my God, this high achiever, right? I'm going to meet her. If I'm going to meet her and I don't know about you, but I would have been like, okay, anxiety levels high, got to be prepared. She's got financial management, she's got risk management, internal controls, very detailed person, okay, very hard number driven person, right? So that is if you had seen her the first time through her profile. If you had met her the first time, you know, like having a conversation, you're like, oh, you know, so warm, so, you know, in tune, so down to earth, so anchored with, you know, reality and what's happening with herself and people around her. I wouldn't have, you know, thought about, okay, this woman leads this organization. She built it from ground up. You know, she's turned it twofold around. Numbers, and if you look at the numbers, it's like double of what it was when it first started. And who are these two people? Are they separate, different people, individuals, Malar, or are they the same person? I'm going to find out, right? So here we have
And
Celine Chan.
before you
Huh.
do that, I'll tell you how Celine is set in my heart, right? So what I find amazing about Celine is that I've seen her as a leader
Mm.
being this really amazing, the best of femininity coming through with all the skills that a leader needs, right? And she brings that in so beautifully together. And I think sometimes it's unfortunate that people can't see that because I think we are so used to, or sometimes we tend to look for a female leader who then behaves like a man, right? So I think, you are my Wonder Woman, Celine. You are like all sweet and nice. At the same time, I also love the fact that you know what you're doing. You're very clear and you're very assertive. Okay, let's hear from Celine now.
Celine, yeah. So I'm going to ask Celine her first question. Before that, I'm just going to not preempt, but just give a frame, right? So Celine is a cancer survivor, breast cancer
mm-hmm.
survivor. She's hitting a 5-year mark this year, and it looks like clear route sailing, you know, onwards. And at the same, aside from that, she's survived 2 strokes recently, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But I'm going to start with this question, Celine. So, Webhelp, when you first started chatting to the board, right? They at some point found out that you had cancer, right? You shared that with them, and they decided to hold off hiring you basically they waited for you until you got the cancer managed, settled, cured, and then joined them.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? I mean, for heaven's sakes, they are an organization, and P&L is very important, right? So why
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
do something like that? I mean, it boggles the mind.
Yeah, actually, it boggles my mind as well. And when this, yeah, so, and when this happened, so the process. Let me just rewind a little bit back,
Mm,
yeah, because the why it boggled me so much was because it did take them a long time, the process, yeah, from the first time they met me online because they were
mm,
based in Germany, and to the time when they came to visit me in Malaysia, and then to the point when they made a decision and when I got the offer. Okay, it was quite. I think it was almost a year. Okay,
mm,
and which made me feel worse because when they made an offer to me and we finally agreed on the terms, this is when I went for a checkup and I found that I had breast cancer. Okay, I think I had very aggressive cancer because the lump from one moment there was nothing to the next moment when I found out it was stage
mm,
2. Okay,
mm,
the thing was that when I found that out, it took me another week to tell them because I had to make sure that it was cancer, how
mm,
long it would take, how serious it was, blah blah blah. Okay, the and when I wrote them an email because they were away, and I said, I would like to have a call with you. Unfortunately, I have cancer, so I will not be able to join you, and I will help you look for someone else because I felt so horrible, right? Okay, it took
mm,
them so long, and they decided, okay. Um, but when they came on the call, they said, "Oh, that's okay. We've decided on you, and we are willing to wait for you if
mm,
you are willing to join us. But of course, we will take it later. Yeah.
mm,
Now
mm.
all you do is you focus on your health and you heal." So I was like, are these people real? And I told this, seriously, right? So I told my husband this, and my husband said, "Are you dreaming? Nobody will wait for you. Okay, you got cancer."
Exactly, exactly, right?
Exactly, right. So I said this. I said, "Okay, if you don't believe me, the next call I have with them, just to confirm everything, I'm going to you join me so that both of us can speak to them." And I asked them, "Would you like to speak to my husband?" I mean, I thought that, okay, it's good that my husband then also confirmed I'm not
Mm.
lying. Yeah.
I don't think he was lying, but maybe whether you were imagining something or the other.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted him to see the truth. Okay,
Mm,
that there are people out there, there are leaders out there who have a heart. Okay,
mm,
and and if they want you, they were willing to wait for you. Very unusual, I agree.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
and when he came on the call and he spoke to them himself, and after the call, he said, "Oh, they are real." He's English, but he has the la. So he said, "Oh
mm.
yeah, they are real lah." You know. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, and it
Mm,
was a really nice feeling and was very inspiring. Of course, nothing was guaranteed, right?
mm, mm,
I had said that, okay, look, I was happy in my current job as well. I'd gone to that job, was I'd been in a couple of years just in that job. It was a very tough industry that it was a financial industry. So, and I was willing to go back to the contact center outsourcing industry, which was very people centric.
mm,
Okay, so not less pressure, but just different kind of pressure.
mm,
So I was willing to. I was very happy to stay at where I was. Yeah, or I would be. I would love to move back into the contact center industry where I found that it's where my blood is. Yeah, contact
mm,
center
mm,
outsourcing is in my blood. Yeah,
mm,
still
mm,
hard work, but yes, still in my blood. Yeah.
mm,
So when this happened, I didn't know whether they were really serious or not. But since they said, I said, okay, we'll take one step at a time. But
mm,
because of that, I was very motivated. Yeah, to heal, to get well. Yeah,
mm,
and when at that time, at the early stages, when you hear that you have cancer, it's always, oh, cancer is just is so bad, right? If anyone hears cancer, you've never been through cancer, it's like it could kill you, right? Yeah. But what I learned and I would like to share with everyone is not all cancers kill. If you detect early, if you react early, if you react aggressively and be brave about it, you can be okay. And look at me, yeah, 5 years soon in September, okay, and I can officially declare myself as cancer free. Now I am in remission, but cancer free in September.
September.
And we can all
Very good.
celebrate. Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Yeah. So
Yeah.
have you figured out yet what was it that made them, I mean, do what they did?
To wait for me. Yeah.
To wait for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So my skeptical side, yeah, because they cannot find anyone else. But I think it was the chemistry that we had. You know, I think the leaders, that he was the CEO and founder, and his business partner, who, by the way, till today, the CEO and founder has now retired, okay, because the company got acquired by a very big company called Webhelp. It used to be called Sell by Tel before, yeah. And the other partner is still the CEO still my boss, yeah.
Okay.
And I still ask him, I said, are you sure you didn't find someone else? You couldn't find anyone else. That's why you continue to, you know, when I came back to you, you said, okay, you know. And they said, no, it's not that. I think it's the chemistry that we had. And also during the conversation, I chose to take an approach where I'm not looking for another job, but if you want me, these are my terms. Because I had in my mind, if I join any other companies, I want this kind of culture. I want this kind of principles. I want this kind of foundation in the company, which was very, at that time, not many companies said this, but I wanted this. I wanted a people first environment. Yeah. And a lot of people say, that's just being idealistic. No way can this ever be real. Yeah. But I insisted, yeah. Somehow maybe I was in dream world. Okay. I just wanted a company who had people first kind of policies. Yeah. Numbers will follow. If you had this kind of belief, I want to join you. And I just said, this is my belief. If you want me, this is my requirement. Yeah. And I spoke from my heart, yeah, not from the CV or the profile, yeah, what I can do in terms of numbers. I can read numbers. I know this, my experience. I just said I wanted this kind of, I'm a people manager. Okay. And because of that, and maybe that was different, yeah, and that was what they were looking for, because contact center is really about people. They wanted the culture change, and because of that, they accepted me as I am, yeah, and they continued to wait for me, yeah.
Okay.
So I think that was the fact. I think, yeah.
Okay. So one thing I'm picking out from that, I'm going to ask Malar to jump in as well. One thing that I'm picking up from it is that you were true to yourself in terms of what you wanted from that role, right? And what you wanted from that position, that role, that work that you wanted to do. So you were true to yourself, and you were true to them as well, in terms of putting it out there. Yeah, what it was.
Yes. And that was the most important part to me, to be true to them about me. If you want me, you must be able to accept who I am. Not I join you and then you think that this person is out of this world. Yeah, I don't want you. I didn't want that kind of feeling. Yeah. I was also getting on. I'm getting older. I cannot afford to just change jobs. Yeah, I wanted to be in a long-term job. Yeah.
Yeah, and a long-term relationship.
and a long-term
relationship. Yeah. And for that, you need to be real.
and by the way, the long-term relationship, I just want to share with everybody, it really works. Yeah. So because I was true to myself, I was true to them, and as I mentioned, the partner is now still my boss till today. Yeah, in fact, from Germany, he's moved to Singapore, right? To look after us even closer, and I think the relationship we have is very good. We are very honest with each other. Yeah, and I don't think we could have had that if we didn't have such a good foundation from the interview stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Spot on. Spot on.
Nice.
I'm just going to give you a pause and Malar to also think of the next questions that she wants to ask while I say
I've
hello
got
to a
two
couple of
questions.
people. Yeah, all right, a couple
Fine.
of people. You got Shahir Mazalan from, I think, Webhelp, because he said, "Good morning, Madam Celine." Okay, this is the first time I've seen Madam Celine. Angela Ui, hi Shahir, selamat pagi. Good, nice of you to join us. And Angela Ui, good morning. Gerald, I've said hello. Arif, Bat, good morning. Louis Marias, good morning. Good to see you all on this show. All right, Malar, what's your question? I know you. I know
I
that.
got five. Now,
I
while
know.
waiting
No,
for the
fine.
five
One.
JJ is also in. So, Celine, so what really intrigued me was this, right? I mean, I love the way you say you don't know why they waited and all of that stuff, right? And they couldn't find anybody, but that tells you that there's nobody else like you.
Oh, that's such a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you,
think
Mala.
about it. They cannot find another person like you or better than you because no one will go for someone worse than you. So that's one thing that I picked up, even though you may not say it, right? But I'm very intrigued by the fact that you said you were looking for a people first culture. Yeah. So two things, right? So I'm very curious to know why people first culture was important for you. And how do you identify with an organization that they are truly a people first culture, right? Because I mean, the waiting was eventually, but at the initial stages, right? How do you match what you want? You obviously came to realize that this culture is really, really important for you, right? And at the same time, at interview, it's like both employer employee. We say all sorts of things like courting times, right? Right?
True.
Yeah, but how did you know? Okay, I'm at this interview and I'm with these people, and I know that they are serious about people first. So how did you do that? Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah. Actually, since they approached me, so I didn't approach them. Okay, so I didn't know whether they were people first. So maybe that gave me more courage to pitch what I wanted. Okay, and I was in a very comfortable position, so maybe I felt that I didn't need to change. So if you want me, you have to take me as I am. Okay, and the fact that they waited and what they said, the chemistry that you have and what answers that they replied to me when I said that I need this kind of culture, I look forward to this is the kind of person I am. The responses that I got gave me an indication. But you know what, in an interview, until real life, the real job, yeah, you will never know. Yeah, and that's unfortunate facts of life as well, that things may seem hunky-dory at the start during the interview. You both accept each other during courting stage. When you join, it may not be what it is. But what I've learned is, because I was honest, my conscience is also clear. Yeah,
Right.
this is who I am. I've told you, you accepted me for what I am. I'm sorry, the clear now, okay? And you must fulfill your bargain. So I had that little bit of confidence in me. Normally I'm not that confident, okay, Mala? I think you know me well enough. But because I had that little bit of confidence, and throughout the first few months, they gave me that freedom, except apart from guidance. Yeah, especially the current boss that I have, and from the start he was with me, guiding me, and he gave me so much authority to set that culture. Yeah, to I wanted that people culture. It's how you treat people with respect. Maybe not always the way the other person may want it, okay, because you have to make hard decisions as leaders, but it's always very people centric, very very important. Okay, and they continue to show me this as proof. Yeah, And that then gave me the proof that, you know, be yourself. Yeah, be yourself. Be be true to yourself and be true to them on who you are, and it will come true. Yeah. And by the way, when we started, yes, there was a lot of challenges I had, because I had to learn that culture as well to change. If I wanted the culture that I wanted, I need to learn the culture as well. And it's not that it's a bad culture or anything, but I just wanted it to change to how I wanted, this idealistic, right? People centric. We work like a family. No matter how big we are still like a family. I didn't like the in a lot of big companies there are a lot of politics. Yeah, we don't work as a team. But I'm so pleased and glad to say that in our company, the level that I've built, they have this really good synergy. You know, no one's perfect. Everyone's got weaknesses, everyone's got strengths, but the strengths and weaknesses are able to jive. And that was so important to me. And I manage and I have this opportunity thanks to the company and the leaders that I work for. Yeah.
Nice. Celine, you are making me feel like, well, you're not telling me the truth. Like, how can a company be so ideal? So never mind. Let me
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
you this.
yeah, yeah. I agree, I agree, agree. It's like this
You
ideal thing, right?
Yeah, you're painting the picture that we read in the books, but let us check that out.
Mm.
So the one thing that I'm very curious, right? You have mentioned this, I needed to be accepted as I am, right? You keep saying that now. And this is authenticity and being accepted for who we are is something everyone wants, but not many of us are willing to put ourselves out there and say, accept me as I am. So what you say makes a lot of sense, right? But let me ask you this, right? So when you think about SIM, how does that facilitate or help you to be a better leader if the organization accepts you as you are? Because that's important when you're putting ourselves out, right? And also tell us, I'm sure there are people who are listening now or later have similar struggles, because you said, that's important because of, you are growing old. But I think it's important at any stage that we accept it as we are, right? And what do you think, how does one prepare himself or herself to say, you know what, this is me, lock, stock, barrel, take me as I am, and I'll give you my. So what would your advice be? So number one, why
Yeah.
that's important for you and what's the value in the organization, right? And how do you get to that space for people who are listening?
Yeah. So for me to say that, to accept for myself, I think I was also very lucky, right? That I was in a position where I wasn't desperate to change any jobs. I was comfortable in my position, so that gave me some confidence. Yeah. I think it would be very different for people who, let's say, they're looking for a job, so they have to prove themselves. So I think it would be different, to be fair. Okay, so I was very blessed. Number one. Number two, I reached a stage where, I've been through so much where I've been in unhappy jobs as well as being in very happy jobs. Yeah. And I know at that stage of my life that I wanted to be in a happy job. I wanted to wake up and be happy to go to the job, regardless how difficult and how challenging. No, and you know what? No matter what the company is, no matter what the industry, and no matter what sort of job, there are always challenges. Yeah, whether they're challenges with people, challenges with the business itself, regardless. Okay, so and it will be very wrong for me to say one industry is more difficult than the other. Yeah, so that acceptance was very important for me. Yeah, and I think that acceptance gave me the confidence to manage the way I am. And one of the examples is this. Yeah, I knew that if I make a mistake, okay, I'm able to come out and say that I made this mistake. How do I correct this mistake? It will be okay, because I walk into this kind of culture. I also set this culture for the team. Yeah, we must allow everyone to make mistakes, because we're only human. Yeah, and the wonderful part about this company that the new owners who took over the company when I first joined, it's now been 3+ years that they've taken over. The tagline is "Think Human." Yeah,
Nice.
and "Think Human" is so real. It's not just letters. It's just not a tagline. It's the practices we do. Yeah,
Nice.
it's and they actually put it into our blood. It's as if they actually put it into our blood. Yeah, really. And
What
how we
are so
practice what we
Celine?
practice. Mm.
So Celine, on this point, what are the things that you practice? Give us some juicy
Yeah,
bits,
just some
right?
juicy bits. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't know whether
yeah.
can share, but okay, no, yeah. You, the ability to make mistakes, not be criticized about the mistakes, working together as a team to support each other through the mistakes, and to be able to come up with good results and then be recognized for those results better than if you had just done good from the first time. Do you
Oh
know what I mean?
wow. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
there's so much
That,
in there, right? That's psychological safety, there's trust,
yes.
there's recognition, right? There's collaboration in there. There's so much. So, what is it? Was it a systemic thing that you did to help that culture thrive in Webhelp, or is it? So, was it systemic? Was it a systemic thing, or was it a people thing that you did, like you chose the right people, you recruited the right people? What
Mm.
was it that created that? Because it's not easy to get to something like that happening, right, in organizations.
Yeah, it's very true. Um, I think the important part was, I think the start was looking for the right people. So I
Mm,
had the opportunity and the free hand to um, put in certain positions, certain heads of functions who who I felt would be able to put in that culture into place, number one. Yeah, who could also, and I say this because I know my weaknesses, I could hire people who then could counter my weaknesses, had strengths to, because I'm not perfect, nobody is perfect. Yeah, and I had this strengths. Okay, this person, I have got these weaknesses, this person will be able to support me in such weaknesses, and then another person. So throughout the years, I've been so lucky and so blessed that there are quite a few people who have joined us until this year, and we continue to look for people, yeah, good people. And until this year, we have now built a very strong team. Now, this
Mm.
strong team, continually building the strong team, yeah, it's not just okay, I have a team and then it stops there. It doesn't. Until today, we continue to add strong people, and this strong team puts that foundation for us to be able to set that culture, yeah, and continue to build onto that culture. And then the company as a group, okay, have got such strong principles of the Think Human principles that gave us the confidence and the okay to continue behaving this way. Correct? I mean, without that, come on, let's face it. Yeah, we work in a company. Yeah, we have uh, we have we have the company principles to live by, like it or not. Okay, so if it's a wrong principle that doesn't agree with you, how are you going to work long term? Correct? Yeah.
Mm.
correct.
So I'm very lucky and blessed to have these principles to be able to work this way.
Mm,
Does
that's
that
great.
make
I'm going to be.
sense? You know?
It makes
Yeah.
sense. It makes a lot of sense. Yet at the same time, there are people who will look at this and say, "Oh, hear you," and say, I mean, the naysayers, right? Yeah, it's
Mm.
great to think people first, but at the end of the day, a business exists because of the numbers, right? It has to be a viable business. It needs to be giving back to the shareholders or the investors
Yes.
in the company, right? So
Yes.
proof is in the pudding, right? In the eating of the
Yes.
pudding, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
people first, happy, happy, touchy feely, all of these things. Everybody's happy with each other, loves each other. Are the numbers what it's supposed to be? So are the numbers what
Mm.
they're supposed to be?
Mm.
Celine.
Yeah. So it didn't start off as what the number should be. Okay. It didn't. I will be
Yeah.
honest, because you have to go through a down to go up. I don't know whether this is true for everybody, but
Hmm.
it did for me. Yeah.
Hmm.
We went through a lot of challenges because we wanted to do a lot of change. Yeah. and I was very lucky. Okay, I again blessed. Yeah, I prayed hard to say that, okay, if I take this risk now, I take these challenges now, it will, the business will come. Yeah, the good people will come. The good people will attract the clients. Because we're a contact center, customer experience is very important to us. Yeah, we will be able to attract this, and this will bring the numbers. And sure enough, over the past 2-3 years, our performance, our numbers have doubled. Yeah, continuously even through the pandemic. In fact, the pandemic became quite a good thing for us. Yeah, and we actually doubled in terms of people, in terms of numbers, yeah. So that's all I can say. I can tell everyone that this actually happened to me. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's not challenging, and I'm not saying that it's not going to be a problem. It is, but I think we need to be very brave. Yeah, and be able to accept that there will be down and there will be ups. Yeah, but if we stay true to ourselves, again, I say we're true to ourselves, we will be able, and we need to be together. Okay, face the problems together, we will be able to go up again. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I think there are two very interesting comments that we should read, Sham. Jay says, think human is brilliant. The challenge is when leaders don't walk the talk and numbers take precedence, right? So that brings us to also what Luis Moraes is saying. In an environment such as call center where demand every minute is crucial for the top or bottom line, how do you execute people's strategy where people first is when attrition is a measure to its success? I think the questions are similar in the sense that we can say people are important. We all want to believe that, genuinely believe it, right? But at the end of the day, when you're measured by numbers, whether you're a leader, right, your effectiveness is measured by whether you hit the KPI.
Yep.
In the call center or in any other businesses, because at the end of the day, you're only effective if you hit the numbers. So in your case, you said, yeah, we did hit the numbers, which is really, really good, right? But how do you manage this, right? What's this people strategy that you put on to manage, to make sure you think human or you think human, right? And manage investors' expectation to hit the numbers? Because I think the pressure to do both is always the pressure of leadership.
Yep.
Correct. Absolutely. So this is a difficult one. Yeah, I will not lie. We have to report numbers. Yeah, we have to report good numbers. Every time the numbers takes a dip, we need to explain. Yeah. And again, I say that that is facts of life. But if we are showing the right way, but I still have this feeling, I still have this true to myself thing where I say we just need to do the right thing. And because not every day will be hunky-dory, there will always be low lights and there'll be highlights. Yeah. And this will be for the same thing for the numbers as well. But if we are we persevere, yeah, we are resilient towards this when there are bad times, just as when there are good times. People see this. People don't just look at numbers; they also see the action behind the numbers. Yeah, and I find that this is now more and more prevalent, especially if the company looks at Think Human. Yeah, they do look at this. So, there was one, I think, comment about attrition. Yes, we do measure attrition. Why we are measured on attrition is because it needs to be an indicator to say whether we are doing the right thing. But we balance, up, not just looking at attrition. We also look at what we call a Your Call survey, which is an employee survey. We also have a client survey, and we put all this together. Yeah, that, by the way, there will always be people and employees who are unhappy. Correct? No matter how good you are, how perfect you are, there's no perfect humans anyway, right? But there will always be unhappiness. And with unhappiness, there will always be bad surveys. We need to accept that, okay? And how we accept that is we say, okay, we take this survey, we try to the feedback, and we try to make ourselves, we take good action on this kind of feedback. where possible.
Mm.
But at the same time, let's not just beat ourselves. Yeah. And by the way, this one Mala taught me. Yeah. She says that when there are bad, yeah, it's true. You know, sometimes when your self-confidence takes a bashing, yeah, there is also you need to prop yourself up. No one else can do it except yourself. Yeah.
Mm.
And
Mm.
Mala made me realize this. And you look at the good feedback as well, and give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah. To say, hey, you must have done something right. Yeah. Certain times the numbers were good. Yeah. So it was not everything was bad.
Mm.
Yeah. And if you can tell yourself this kind of things, you continue to prop yourself and you continue to move with the times. Unless you can be, unless you can declare yourself as God and that you're perfect and that everyone else is not doing the right thing. No way, right?
No,
No
right,
way.
no way. All right.
Yeah.
I want to go a little bit into that, something you said a few minutes ago about balance, right? It is a balance, and it's a fine balance, because we know that, because it's so fine that we can tip over to sometimes overdoing something or overusing something,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm,
um
mm.
Even something that, anything that's good, if too much of a good thing is also a bad thing,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
saying, correct? So
yeah,
I want us to just shift the conversation a little bit, and talk a little bit about your stroke, that the
mm,
two strokes
mm,
that you had, right?
mm, mm.
um yeah, talk about it in relation to balance, and was there an imbalance somewhere that caused it? Because we're
Yeah,
talking about it and you said it was a very stressful situation that you were
yeah,
in, and yeah, so tell
yeah.
us a little bit more about that, Celine.
Okay. Even when you're in a people first environment and you think human, yeah, uh, we think human, and because we think human, sometimes that becomes a challenge and
Yeah.
that puts pressure on you, right? Because you always in your mind you need to be protective over your team. Yeah, you need to do what is right. When there are problems, you need to protect them and help them improve. Yeah. And because you need to do that without you realizing, you put pressure on yourself.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
And then the results will always be, okay, better survey, better numbers. Yeah, these are consequences of this action. So you also expect this kind of downline results. Okay. So because, and we're only human, okay, the whole thing puts a lot of pressure on you. And what happened to me was I became into this state where I was so driven about, okay, we need to improve ourselves. There are feedback that's coming. We need to be better at doing certain things. Yeah. And then when there were challenges coming, I become very protective over the team, because I see them working so hard, trying to do the right thing, and yet they are criticized for things, or say that, or questioned about whether they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And then automatically, maybe it's the maternal instinct. Yeah. Yeah. You know, that kind of monster comes out, right? And you protect them automatically. And the problem with that is you forget that when you try to protect something, you may also hurt someone else, or
Mm.
hurt someone another situation, right?
Mm. Mm.
Because you then don't become holistic. You don't look at it in the whole picture. You only look at it at one angle. So
Mm.
very important is to be able to balance things. And because I was under so much pressure, in in just like my cancer, when I had the cancer almost 5 years ago,
Mm.
and the stroke that I had end of last year, it was all because of, I was just putting so much pressure on myself. And hey, as much as I say we practice think human, I must also realize that, hey, I'm only human. Yeah, I
Mm.
can only do so much. I practice what I preach. I make mistakes. Yeah, I'm wrong as well. Yeah, I must accept that, and I must just swallow my pride. And by the way, yeah, as much as nice as you are, you know, as human as you are, we all have got egos and we've got a pride. You know, we want to
Mm.
do well, right?
Mm.
And that puts extra pressure, and then we just overreact. And when we overreact, that hurts other people as well, as much as it protects the people that you're trying to protect.
And it
Yeah.
also hurts you.
most importantly, actually, it hurts myself, and that's how I got sick. But but I got sick, but I'm lucky because I got those as signs. I bounced back from my sickness very quickly. When I had my cancer, okay, in 3-4 months, I could go through the mastectomy. I did my chemo, all within a short period of time. So I bounced back very quickly. My stroke immediately, I couldn't talk at first. Yeah, when I had the stroke, I couldn't really walk. Yeah, I was quite weak. But within a little while, I was back to normal. And as you can see, you wouldn't know that I had a stroke.
No,
Yeah. Okay.
not at
So
all.
I know,
Not at all.
but these are good reminders, don't you think? And I'm blessed that I had these reminders. If not, I
So
think I would become a monster. I think.
Yeah.
Celine, there's something new that I found out about you, or I'm guessing about you. But before that, yesterday I put out a poll on my LinkedIn site, and I asked about burnout among leaders because there are, one of the trends that we're looking at for leadership in 2022 is that good leaders are burning out. First and foremost, we know we don't have enough good leaders, but among the leaders are already burning out, and it's something that we are probably undermining because we are all focused on the well-being of people without paying too much of attention to or enough attention to the leaders. So anyway, I put out a poll, and it says that I asked, how many, what's the percentage for good leaders burning out, bad leaders burn out others, and burnout happens to all leaders. 67% of people so far who have voted have said that burnout happened to all leaders. Bad leaders burn out others, 29%. Now, what was interesting for me was that there was 0 vote for good leaders burnout.
So that means good leaders don't burn out?
Burnout.
No. So I think it was interesting. So I'm not going to say much about it, but I think it's very interesting that we don't realize that goodness burns you out, which is the example that you've given me, right? So on one hand, because you are holding so much, I want people, I want to make sure I meet the numbers, I don't want to hurt people. It's okay if it hurts me. I want to bring all of that together, right, from all that you're saying, right? Because one of the research that I read from the book called Body Says No by Gabomate is this, right? Women who get breast cancer are usually, they've seen a trend, are women who absorb the pain. They are known to just take it in, right? Now that's one. But the other one is this, right? And I hope we are still friends after I say this, Celine. Now, what I am hearing of you in what you're saying is that you seem to take pride that you're bouncing back from illness quite quickly.
I was going to,
And I'm wondering. Because now you go through this aggressive treatment because someone gave you a purpose and said, I'll wait for you, which is fantastic. So typically women, I think, but never mind. Now, I can do it. So fantastic. I mean, we admire, we that's all great, right? And you got into Webhelp and you're doing a great job. Fantastic. And you have a first stroke, stress. Again, you bounce back very quickly. And this bounce back is what we celebrate. And then you get into the second stroke. And now you're still celebrating because you said, I'll bounce back. Now, I'm very, very happy and grateful that you've bounced back because you're dear to me. But on the other hand, I'm just wondering, why do we push ourselves so much?
Why do we push ourselves so much? For me, I have the support of my, I throughout this conversation, I've not mentioned the support of my family. The support of my family helps me bounce back quickly. Yeah, number one. Number two, my family are very proud of me, and I want to continue to make them proud. I think it is very important that they come first, right? And not, we say this, sometimes we don't practice it, and I'm at fault at doing this as well. But because they have pride in their mother, it drives me. And I think that's one of the inspirations that I have to move forward and to bounce back as well. And I think I also must accept that I'm the kind of person who can't just sit back and do nothing. So what do I do? If I'm sick,
Yeah.
what do I do? Give up?
Mm.
Yeah. But then I lose myself. Then
Nice.
it becomes worse, right?
Worse. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've managed to think like that, and maybe that has caused me to push forward. Do you know what I mean? I'm not
I
sure
Yeah.
how
get
to
you.
So
say
So I
this.
think
yeah.
so. I think that the thing that we were. I want to understand. I get it. I mean, I think
Mm,
Yeah.
most career women will get it, and of course, I'm proud to be your friend, right? Because I look at you and I admire you. You're a great story, but I don't want to hear.
Have you to bounce back again?
We don't want you to go through that. So the question is this, right? Now that you've seen your trend, yes, you have the
mm.
support and admiration of
Mm.
people. What are you going to do based on your experience to make sure you don't
Have
overdo it?
to, yeah, or you don't have to bounce back
What
again.
how are you going to keep it in balance so that
Mm.
you
Mm.
don't push yourself too hard, that you love yourself the way you say you love yourself, to care for
Mm.
yourself as much as I know your family comes first, right? But like,
Yes.
how do you do that
Mm.
for yourself? Do you have any idea? Because a lot of us fall into that trap, the same trap, including me, right? So how do we know this is exactly when I put on my brakes?
Remember one training that I attended, Mala, that you conducted on mindfulness. I know it's part of EQ, okay, but one thing that I remember very clearly is being mindful. Now, I will never, I will admit that I cannot remember to practice mindfulness all the time. But now, because of the last episode, it has made me, it's forced me to be more mindful, because I still do get, because I just was sick in November, December, I was
Mm.
in
Mm.
hospital for so long. I, I still have some side effects. Yeah.
Mm.
That means I'm not as strong as I was before. So if I get tired, the body reminds me. Then that brings back the mindfulness. Yeah. So whether that is a blessing, a sign, whatever you want to call it, that is a reminder. And
Nice.
and yeah, and the reminder then tells me to stop or take it easy. And you know what? I, I must trust my team as well, right? Because if I just try and
Mm.
take it on myself, that means I'm not giving my team the trust as well.
Mm.
So I'm not, following what I'm not acting on what I'm saying. So I want to walk the talk, and this is
Nice.
how I do it. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
So, Celine, thank you very much, because you've reminded how important it is for us to be mindful, i.e., self-aware. And for me, my greatest takeaway is really to listen to our bodies when it's giving us messages that it's time to pause, rest, look after ourselves. And for us to be able to do that, we need the support of our family, our loved ones, and the support
Mm.
of our team members, where in
Mm.
good
Yes.
times you coach them. Because I think one of your colleagues came on and say how it was difficult for him and how you all coach.
Yeah.
The coaching culture is so important, because only in the coaching culture that we can get our people ready so that we don't burn out, right? Because then they
Yes.
are able to run on their own when we are not able to be present. And these are just amazing golden nuggets. And I just want to really, really thank you for being so down to earth, authentic, and so open, so vulnerable with your story, right? Which
Yes.
everybody, not every top leader will come and say, I this happened to me and this is what happened. So we are so proud to have had you to be our first speaker. So thank you so much for being, firstly, an amazing friend all this time,
Thank you.
and for being this amazing female leader. I will say I'm so proud that you bring out the maternal instinct in your leadership and help us to lead. So thank you, love you, Celine. I'm sure Singapore wants to
Of
say
course, Singapore wants to something. Of course, Singapore wants to say something. When does Singapore not say something? um, I all I can say is take care of yourself. Your superpowers need to work with you, for you, as well as for you. And I think the world needs more of you, and you, different versions of you. So please take care of yourself. What works for you can also be your Achilles heel. Um,
Yes.
Listen to your body, as Malar said, and so that we can have you over again and inspire, as Andrew Craig said, such an inspiring start to our day, and such an inspiring start to our month of love at work. So thank you, Celine, for spending the morning
Thank,
with us.
yeah.
We love
Thank you
you.
very much, both of you, for letting me share the story and inspiring me. Yeah, both of you have inspired me. I've read your LinkedIn, what you write in it, your stories. That I think inspired me, and I'm sure it's inspiring everybody as well. So thank you as well.
All right, Malar, take it off.
Okay, so better say goodbye because we've taken more than the
Yes.
extra 7 minutes. So thank you for those who have joined us. I hope your 8 o'clock wake up was worth waking up for Celine Chan. Next week, I think you need to rethink whether you're going to wake up early and join us at 8 o'clock
No need
because
to rethink. No need to
no need
rethink.
to
Just come.
rethink.
No
Just
need.
come.
Just come.
Okay.
Because
So
yeah, it's just
Singapore says
building.
just come. Malar
Yeah.
says, well, actually, Malar also won't say just think. Feel with your heart the inspiration Celine has brought on and wonder what the next week's guest will bring. We are still doing leadership in flow and love at work. Shahir says, thank you all superwoman here for this such an inspiring start for my day. Well, thank you, Shahir. And okay, saying goodbye. This is Malar Hearts and Minds from Malaysia.
And Sharmini from Be in Clarity, based in Singapore. See you next week, everyone. Bye bye.